everyone, it's Diego Reyes for CNN Philippines 10, where we break down major stories from here and abroad into bite-sized facts in 10 minutes. You can now visit some of the historical mansions of past Philippine presidents, with Malacanang converting these sites into museums as part of what it calls Malacanang Heritage Tours. This is part of First Lady Liza Marcos's program to rehabilitate and turn these sites into attractions.
I invite everyone to come and join. Puntahan ninyo, lalo na yung ating mga estudyante na nais makita ang lahat ng mga pangulo ng ating republika. Ay nandyan lahat, nandyan yung kaunting kwento ng kanilang buhay.
President Bongbong Marcos describes the Goldenberg Mansion as a very beautiful old guest house. Former First Lady Imelda Marcos bought the mansion for formal functions. The Teos Mansion, meanwhile, is owned by Manila's former Primera de Alcalde Valentin Teos. After the Goldenberg Mansion, the Teos Mansion was bought to be used as museum for former presidents. The rooms in the lower floors exhibit their accomplishments and even gives a peek on their personal lives. The Bahay Ugnayan, which was previously the Presidential Complaints Center, is now a museum for President Marcos. The Malacanang Heritage Tours are open Tuesdays to Sundays, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can also request for a guided tour by reaching out to the contact details flashed on your screen. A survey released by Visa shows 4 in every 10 Filipinos, or 37%, transact cashless in 2022 via debit and credit cards and mobile wallet. That's bigger compared to 27% the year before.
How do we stack up with our ASEAN neighbors? No, we're not yet there compared to most of them. Cardless payments, number 1 is Singapore. We're number 5. And in between, you'll have there Malaysia, Vietnam, Indonesia, and then us.
QR codes are also becoming the in thing. 6 in every 10 people use QR codes, twice bigger in 2021. The survey says the Philippines ranks 4th in this arena, tailing Cambodia and other Southeast Asian neighbors. There are a host of reasons why the Philippines lags behind in digital payments. The top 3 wrinkles that need to be fixed to improve the country's position here include internet access, number of merchants or stores accepting cashless payments, and fraud. The survey also shows that for Filipinos, cash still is king. But are they ready to go 100% cashless soon? From tourism to employment, to reuniting with families or pursuing the so-called American dream. These are just some of the reasons of thousands of visa applicants who troop to the U.S. Embassy in Manila's consular office on a daily basis. Its operations are returning to normal after being disrupted by the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2022, the U.S. Embassy processed over 200,000 visas. Most were non-immigrant or visitors visas, followed by immigrant and fiancé visas. The U.S. aims to increase the number this year.
This year, we're expecting to, we're already on track to exceed that close to 290,000 visas that we had done pre-pandemic. I wouldn't be surprised if we're probably closer to about 320 to 325.
Longer validity, removal of interviews for renewal of non-immigrant visas, and additional visa officers contribute in expediting the processing of visa applications. The U.S. also extended the validity of visas of crew members or seafarers. It is also looking at the possibility of opening a consular office in Cebu. Processing fees will go up on June 17 for visitors, temporary workers, and investors' visas. The embassy says this will help ensure services remain efficient and secured. And news from San Miguel Corporation. Barangay Ginebra Superstar L.A. Tenorio is hoping to return to action in October. He says he's completing his cancer treatments so he can actively prepare for his return to the Philippine Basketball Association. In a text message to CNN Philippines, Tenorio says he will try his best to play again for Ginebra when season 48 starts with the Commissioner's Cup. The league's Ironman thanked SMC President and CEO Ramon Ang for his support in what Tenorio described as the biggest battle of his life. A group of students from Cebu successfully launched Tala, the first hybrid rocket built in the country. Christian Cantos, Harold Abarquez, Francis Espino, Joshua Pardoria, Joffer Kapampangan and Dorothy Dafon with their mentors Wilfredo Pardola and Almida Plarisan from St. Cecilia's College Cebu make up the Team Tala. The 3D printed rocket has a solid and liquid fuel which aims to launch an environmental satellite in space to collect data. They started the project in 2018 but was only launched last May. According to the Team Tala, the cash grant of the Department of Science and Technology was a big help for them.
We were very happy that we have successfully launched the Tala hybrid rocket, and we hope that this is a stepping stone for the development of our country's space science and technology research.
Japan Coast Guard vessel Akitsushima and U.S. Coast Guard cutter Straton recently docked at the Manila port area, which marked the start of a week-long maritime drill with the Philippine Coast Guard. This is the first ever trilateral maritime exercise between the allied nations, a byproduct, the PCG says, of President Marcos' recent trips to the U.S. and Japan. More than 500 Filipino, American, and Japanese Coast Guard personnel took part on search and rescue and law enforcement drills, bringing them off the coast of Bataan, also a historic province.
For us to implement yung mandates, kailangan natin ng training, and we get this training through them.
We are proud of our persistent presence in the Indo-Pacific and our dependability as a trusted partner.
The Philippine and Saudi Arabian governments are crafting a special hiring program for Filipinos wishing to work in the Gulf state, where they are targeting 1 million jobs in the next 2 years. The aggressive hiring is part of Saudi's expansion plans, which would include tourism and infrastructure development.
I see exciting times ahead, no, for our Filipino workers, and also for our partners, no, overseas. We were exploring the possibility of a special hiring program, specifically to address the labor needs of Saudi Arabia.
Among possible opportunities are hotel and restaurant services and construction work, including jobs for technicians and welders. IT experts will also be employed. Both sides are expected to meet on the second week of June to finalize the massive hiring program, while a technical team from Saudi will visit Manila. So far, there are approximately 700,000 Filipino workers in Saudi, and the Gulf state wants to increase it to pre-pandemic level of 1.5 to 1.6 million. Internet superstar Bretman Rock is the first gay man to grace the cover of Vogue Philippines. The cover features Sikihor, his destination shoot. On Instagram story, Bretman shared that this is a product of his hard work and that he deserves this feat. He also sent out a message to his fans saying, at the end of the day, the person that needs to know who you are is you and the people that you love. Filipino Rodel Gonzalez is the only Filipino with license to paint Disney, Star Wars, and Marvel artwork. From realism, landscape, and seascape, his theme now revolves on animated characters. Even Star Wars creator George Lucas bought some of his paintings. His masterpieces are now being sold in Disneyland parks and stores. And if he's familiar, that's because he's the co-founder of Pinoy band Side A. He's now based in Florida, USA, but went home to promote his exhibit and for Side A's reunion concert. And now, for our 10-second trivia. In which country did the croissant originate from? Austria, France, Holland, or Spain? Contrary to popular belief, croissants originate from Austria. It is known there as the kipfurl. Made from a yeasted wheat dough, the kipfurl is a baked bread roll common in Central Europe. Its introduction to France happened in 1839, where the French mimicked the Austrian bread in their bake shops, with the word croissant appearing shortly after, referring to the crescent shape of the bread. And that's it for CNN Philippines 10. I am Diego Reyes, giving you news you can use, news you can trust in 10 minutes. Thanks for joining me today, and see you again next time.